this?
Welcome to the Killer Comic Show.
Welcome to the Killer Comic Show.
Hold on a minute. 1, 2. What's going on here? There's 3 of us this week.
I'm back.
Just the 3 of us.
He's back. This. I feel like the odd one out though. So what I'm going to put you 2 up there, and I'll go down there. There we go. Look.
Nice.
Two reds.
It is.
And you at the bottom.
I like it when you're in between us, Charlie.
Charlie,
is this how you like it?
This is how I like it. Yep.
Stop
likes
bubble
being
over again.
He likes being in a
It
not
is full
quite
bubble
shut sandwich.
How are we doing? It's Thursday again. How are we?
I think we're maybe doing a little bit better than you are this week, Charlie. But yeah, I'm doing okay, thanks. What about you, Tom?
I am sound as a pound, mate. Refreshed, ready to go.
Good man.
That's good to hear, and it's good to have you back, Tom. You came back for a great episode last week. Andy was missing because he was on daddy duty. We had the one and only Ram V. Great show that was. It's always a great show with Ram V on, to be fair.
I can't stop thinking about this fact that he's got like a brain pool of like all these ideas that he just goes to. He's like, oh, I'll pick out that idea and I'll play with that and I'll do this. I think that's really cool.
That's
such a
what
cool idea.
I thought it was going to be so interesting. He was like, yeah, I'm going to be super organised. Like, I'm going to go to this, go to that. And he was like, I literally just dip my hand in and think, yeah, I'm going to have a latte and I'm going to go with this today.
Yeah, exactly. I like how random it is.
It was awesome. But the chat is buzzing tonight. The chat is buzzing. We've got
here?
We've got ABZ Comics in, evening all. We've got Mr. Perpetual. We have GP Venom. I still want to know if you have actually found Bigfoot or the Sasquatch or the Blair Witch Project or whatever you're looking at. I want to know if you found it, mate. We've got Chris Bell buckled up. He's come over from, we had a sexy video starting at 8 o'clock over on Instagram. It was from the one and only Darren, aka the Poptimist. He had his dressing gown on. He had his bottle of full fat Coke and he was showing all things Funko on his little spinny thing.
If you saw this little clip out of context, you'd be like, what are they on about? In his dressing gown with a full fat of Coke, doing all things Funko.
And the thing is, it wasn't even on his OnlyFans. So everyone that logged into Instagram was able to get that free of charge. Yes, we've got that. We have Only Pops and Sodas. Thank you so much for this. Here, look, Liam, some half-dressed guy in a gown, gulping Coke, showing his chomp, sent me over. Now, if that doesn't tickle your fancy or tickle your Funko Pop, I don't actually know what would. Connie Dalton, welcome, darling. Thank you very much for joining us. We have the 6th scale Padawan. Now, this is the Padawan collector. He's changed his name to confuse us, as if we needed confusing anymore. We've got Edvic, and all the way from Japan. Are you feeling Genki? Yes, we are. It's the one and only Wakazashi's Tea House. Morning, sir. I hope you've got your coffee. Sit back and relax because this is going to be a good show. If I pass out for any reason, it's because I've got COVID 2.0. I've got it again.
2.0.
So I'm feeling a bit under the weather, but we'll get straight into it. We will. Should we, Tom? Would you like to show us what your killer pickups are this week? Have you got?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I had quite a few deliveries this week, actually, which was quite nice. So I got some stuff from. Well, actually, no, I got these last week. To be fair, so I got some stuff from Scott's Collectibles, which are my returns from Thought Bubble. So I've got Batman 108.
Oh yeah, them.
The Carla Cohen cover, signed by Tynion, and I got a 9.8.
Congrats, nice.
That's nice, and it's a black cover as well, which is
it is.
That's great.
Yeah, so I'm quite chuffed with that. So I've got that one. I also got the Department of Truth, which is also signed by James Tynion.
Nice.
But it's the Megan Hutchinson cover. So I think it's cover B. And I got a 9.6 on that one, so I'm quite happy with that. I'm a little bit disappointed because Simmons was there, Martin Simmons was there as well. So I did ask him to get that signed too, but he didn't get it signed by him, which is annoying. Thanks, Scott.
That's an expensive book, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tom?
Say it, mate.
That book's an expensive book. That 9.6.
Yeah. I had a 9.8 before, and I sold it, and then I decided to get my second one done. But
nice.
I might keep that one, to be fair. And then I had some stuff sent off to a company in America. I can't remember the name of this shop now, but the guy who runs it's called David Bell, and he was doing a signing for a couple of different things, and he did Kevin Eastman, and he did Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman. So I sent some books off to get signed by them, and that was over 12 months ago. Wow. And I hadn't heard anything back. He said they were on CGC, then they weren't at CGC, then they were with him, and then I had to get to my stat crew, and then I finally got them. And my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the last Ronin, finally arrived. Nice and signed by Kevin Eastman, which I'm really happy about. Nice. And I got a 9.8.
Oh, nice.
But the only problem I do have is when it was delivered.
Oh, no, is it cracked?
My postman dropped it, obviously, because he's a dick.
So what can you do about that?
I can send it back to CGC to get it re-slabbed, but I might just leave it, to be honest.
So you might get that in 2025.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was going to show you the other one I got, but I've picked out the wrong book out of my box, so I'll show you in a little bit, because I'll go and have a look in a minute.
Okay.
And then I got some other bits and bobs. So from over at Galactic Comics, I've got the first issue of Supermassive, because I wanted to try this out.
Me and Andy had a giggle about this.
Yeah, which is like the new superhero team for Image. I've known nothing about it.
It's also your nickname, Tom.
Is it? My nickname, Supermassive.
Supermassive.
But for what reason, Andy?
For the love that you have inside.
For the love that I have inside, yeah, I could take that. And then I got Scorched issue 1, but the Brett Bruth cover. So this is interconnecting with King Spawn and Gunslinger Spawn, so it's quite a nice interconnected cover.
That's a hot book, that one.
It is. I haven't actually read it yet because I was waiting to get all three so I could read that, have them up on the wall. And then I got a Tyler Kirkham cover to Deadpool versus Carnage, or Absolute Carnage, Deadpool. And I really, really like this. And it's also the Virgin cover, which I didn't realize when I bought it.
Nice. Where's that from?
For that. That's Galactic as well.
Nice.
That's quite nice. And then I got from Close Encounters, my friend Jeff over at Close Encounters. He picked me up a J. Scott Campbell Eternals issue 1. So I'm quite chuffed with that.
Very nice.
Very pleased with that. And then on the J. Scott Campbell front, because of Andy and his wizard books, I then decided to go down a sodding rabbit hole, and I ended up getting some more.
It's Andy's fault. That's what it is.
It is Andy's fault. So yeah, I've got that one, which is I think you had. Is that the one you've got, Andy?
Yes, that's the one I got as well.
I managed to get that one, and I managed to find his Batgirl and Spider-Girl one.
Oh, nice.
It's quite a nice one.
Oh, that's great. That's a really nice cover.
Yeah, it's lovely. And I'd never seen it before. I used to collect Wizard years ago, and I'd seen this cover and thought, "Oh, that's pretty cool," but never picked it up. But then I saw it. I didn't realize it was J. Scott Campbell until Andy started showing them off, and I was like, "Oh, hold on, there's quite a few that he's done." And then also from the same seller, I managed to get Street Fighter issue 1, J. Scott Campbell, and Usagi Yojimbo signed issue 1.
No way.
By J. Scott.
Where was this from?
These are all from America. These ones from an eBay seller.
Nice.
J. Scott Campbell's, but they're all from the same person. He has a love for J. Scott Campbell, or she's got the same love for J. Scott Campbell that I do.
Cool.
So got loads of stuff. Quite a few of the bits.
Wow.
Got a few.
Bloody hell. That's not. I like J. Scott Campbell. I do.
Yeah, me too, mate. My favourite. Him and Dan Mora.
Andy, what have you got? Have you got anything? I know you've got something.
I have a few pieces here. So I'll put this up on my Instagram. So this is Black Panther issue number 2. This is the Raza second print variant cover. that I picked up at the Hobgoblin Hideaways claim sale on Saturday.
Yeah.
Make sure that you go into their Facebook and join those guys. So I was happy to pick that up. I got a couple of more Bad Idea books from Forbidden Planet, which coincidentally is a bad idea to buy from. The Pirate Queen as well. So
Nice.
that's me got all the. In fact, no, tell a lie. This one they haven't sent issue 1 yet, but this is issue 4. So
why wouldn't they?
yeah. I picked up some classic Star Wars. So get issue number 1.
That's a really nice cover as well.
Yeah, it's nice. Issue number 2. See the theme here. I really like this cover actually. Number 4 and number 5. There we go. Also picked this up again. You might have seen this on Instagram. This is New Avengers issue number 1, and this is the 1 in 50 variant cover. So I managed to pick this up for a really great price.
Andy, is that the Hickman run?
Yes.
I think
yes, I think it is. Yeah. So
that's such a cool
one. Great cover as well. I picked this up as well. So Darth Vader, issue number 20. This is the cover that everybody seemed to be going a bit crazy for. With all the spec about Illuminati, I picked this up for a couple of quid. This is the Secret History Illuminati. I think this was a one-shot cover. Nice cover there. I've got Avengers issue number 9. This is the first appearance of the new Wasp. Got Reptile issue number 2. This is the 1 in 10. Yeah, this is a really cool cover. So yeah, anything to do with Reptile.
Who's that by, Andy?
This is by Balam.
Huh?
Balam.
Another Monster Kill Squad. This is issue number 3. Bad Idea. We have Power Girl issue number 20. Adam Hughes cover.
Boobs.
Which
Boobage. Boobage.
Boobs. Ultimate Comics All New Spider-Man issue 16.1. Just liked it because it's a cool Miles cover.
I thought that was Nightcrawler then.
Yeah, to be fair.
It does, doesn't it? No, it's definitely Spider-Man.
I got this nice homage to the album cover. This is cool, X-Men number 1. So it's pretty cool. And
that's what the world would look like now, Andy. That's what the world would look like now if the Beatles did that.
This is what it looks like in Glasgow right now. Love you, Glasgow. So I picked this up. This was in Forbidden Planet. So this is the Jock postcard set.
Oh, nice.
So this is a set of 8 postcards. It's only $6.99. So
it's still available. Is that available now?
It is, yeah. At least the last time I looked, it was, yeah. So the cards are really nice. So my plan is next time Jock's in the vicinity is to get them to sign these and then get them framed up. So that's the first one.
That's a cool idea, mate.
One. That's really good, yeah.
Third one. So you'll recognise these from some of these well-known covers. The only one that I didn't recognise is this one. So I don't believe this was a cover. This one. And then obviously everybody knows Detective 880. Just a couple more, guys. Going to go with some action figure goodness. So we've got the book of Boba Fett. I got this from Comic and Cocktails. Happy to get this.
Yeah.
And last but not least, this was my big boy book. I picked up Thunderbolts issue 127, the 1 in 10 Jock cover, and a 9.8.
Nice.
Why wouldn't you just drop that?
I like that.
And this is a tough book to get raw, and it's a really tough book to get. Nice to get a 9.8 as well. Obviously the black cover. That's it there. So
that's a great cover though.
Yeah, happy to pick that up and on my Jock collection. And that is me. Charlie, did you pick anything up?
What about your little? You had a little rummage of some old stuff, didn't you? It was like cards and
little rummage.
and chewing gum and stuff.
I've been known to often have a little rummage, Charlie. Yes.
How did that go? You got like 5 or 6 packs of cards or something? Didn't you?
Oh yes. I don't have them with me actually, but yeah, I picked up some boxes that I brought from back home quite a long time ago, and I hadn't opened them up, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to just go through one box, and it had all my old school trading cards. So it had like Ultra Fleer X-Men cards, had like maybe 3 or 4 sets of Judge Dredd cards, and then I had unopened wax cards like from the 70s, 80s. So I did say actually this show I was going to open one up and show the cards, but I completely forgot. And I think I got challenged to eat the chewing gum as well. So if we get, I tell you what, if we get enough likes on this show, then I'll do that next week. That's what the YouTubers do, don't they?
What are you calling the top end of the likes? How many do you want? How many likes do you want?
Oh Jesus, at least 100. No, I'm joking. I'd say if we can get 25 likes, that would do me.
That's not undoable, is it? Really? I literally ain't picked up nothing. I went. The only thing I did get, and it weren't really a pickup. I went to see the Batman last Friday, and I managed to get that.
Oh, that's cool.
No.
Oh, did you get me one? Cheers.
So,
Did
but
you get me one? No.
I only got 2. But these are
one for you and
ridiculous.
Andy.
Like the thing is, right? You can go into any Odeon, and I think Dino mentioned it as well. You can go into any Odeon, and they were giving them out. But people are selling them on eBay. It's stupid. And this is the same cover that's going for Harlequin 13 as well. So there's nothing. Yet again, it's Evil Bay. People jumping on the hype market, selling it for like £6, £7 or whatever. It's a free comic. It's just a long Halloween special edition. That's all it is. Nothing special. It's good artwork though. I just think the story's lacking. Like the new long Halloween that came out, I think we reviewed it.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah.
It was shocking. But
Yeah,
that's basically all I got. Oh yeah, and I did pick up COVID as well. So
yeah. I mean, there's your killer pickup right there, mate.
There's my kid. Well, I hope not.
And you got the variant edition as well, apparently.
I did get. I got the 2.0. I did get the 2.0.
The 2.0.
But yep. But on that's our pickups. Andy's just absolutely. Oh yeah, you got one more.
That one.
Yeah.
So I found the other one that I ordered. So the other one I got is signed by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, but I've both got a remark and a sketch on it.
Ah, that's nice.
It's pretty cool. So I've got the Donny Cates remark, and I think that's his signature, and then Ryan Stegman's signature, and then this is a Ryan Stegman sketch, which I'm really chuffed with.
And it's 9.6.
Yeah, 9.8.
Oh, 9.8. There's not. That's well nice. There's one of Ryan Stegman, and you can see him taking the picture on the Venom blank cover. It's a black Venom cover, and you can see him taking the picture on it.
Oh, awesome.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's our killer pickups. I can't remember what we do. I always forget this, but Tom, you're back on the show, so I'm going to remember it. It's the killer covers. Killer covers for this week, which is March the 9th. Now, obviously, if you're new to the show, us three pick 3 covers that we think are great for artwork, whatever. It started off as a bit of a joke, and now it's become really competitive. We've got like a scoreboard and everything. So, yeah, up first we have Andy.
Oh, that's me. I went for
like you didn't know.
I went for Draculina issue number 2, the Carla Cohen Virgin variant cover. Carla, a great friend of the show. If you haven't checked out that video, make sure that you do. It was a great conversation. I think it's one of our highest viewed videos as well. It was great chat with her. But yeah, this was a dynamite book that kind of caught my eye. I think the Draculina covers are really, really nice on these books, and obviously Carla's speciality is the female form, and I think the detail in this is absolutely spectacular. It's one of those books where I think if I had to see it in real life, it almost feels like the blood is almost wet on the cover because it's drawn with such detail, and and I think it is absolutely spectacular. So that is my killer cover pick for this week.
I like that. That is nice. With the Carla Cohen theme, I've gone with the same thing. Right, so I've gone for Naomi season 2, issue number 1. Now I'm watching this TV show. I'm loving this TV show. Like, I think it's quite good. It takes, I think it's on like episode 7 now, so it takes a while to get into. But after speaking to Carla and knowing that she likes the traditional stuff, you just look at artwork differently the way that she does it. And the fact is that this is all done with painting. This is sensational, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this apart from this is an awesome cover, and it's by the fantastic Carla Cohen. So this is my cover pick for this week. Absolutely love it. What do you guys think?
I think it's great. I think it looks
like
fantastic. I really like the background as well because it makes obviously Naomi absolutely pop on it. Have any of you guys watched the TV show? It is Naomi TV show, isn't it? That's out at the minute.
Yeah, that's what I've been watching. It is.
Yeah.
Charlie,
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening.
Andy's not listening.
Um,
Andy's got us on mute.
But no, yeah, I am. It takes a while to get into. I'm watching this, and I'm watching like Superman and Lois as well. But yeah, this is pretty decent. But that's enough of my cover. That's Naomi season 2, Carla Cohen variant B. Tom.
Yeah, so mine is our Carla Cohen cover as well. No, it's not. I wish it was. I wish I'd have done Carla Cohen now, to be fair. That would have been amazing. So I've gone with Spider-Gwen, Gwenverse, and I've gone for the Sabrine Rich cover because I just think she's insane artist. The fact she does all this hand-drawn and then watercolors over the top. Not that she's just absolutely incredible. I really like what she's done here with this. And I like the fact that with the golden hair, it kind of makes all 3 characters really glow. I do think this is one of my favorite covers. I would have gone with the Carla Cohen cover if I'd have known there was another one out there just for the crack. But this is my cover pick this week for Sabrine Rich. So Gwenverse.
Nice.
I really like this cover.
I think it's quality. I like how all the colours blend in to one. So like the blues, if you follow the blues all the way around from the top all the way back round to the red cape, it goes all the way through the colour spectrum. So you go like from the blue all the way around to the reds, you got all the purples and everything, and it complements each individual character. And I think that's really smart. But saying that, I quite like your guys' covers too.
It has been, this is, I want to read this comic after seeing this. I'm not really a fan of like Spider-Gwen and stuff, but I kind of want to read it to see how this is going to pan out. So, I mean, I like this cover. Thanks for picking this one, Tom, because I wouldn't have even picked this book. I wouldn't have even known it was coming out.
I've managed to pick this one up. I've got the 1 in 25 cover for this one.
This is going to be interesting. So we've got Andy, Sexy Draculina, issue number 2. We've got Naomi, season 2, issue number 1. I'm watching a TV show, by the way, Andy, if you're interested. And then we've got the Gwenverse, Spider-Gwen, issue number 1. So the poll is now up on YouTube. Get your votes in, and then at the end of the show, we will see who wins. And you won't win nothing. Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the covers of the week. It's good to have you back, Tom, man. It's good to actually be able to do 3 covers.
I know. It'd be nice to win a cover of the week on my first week back. However, I also think it'd be quite funny if we get to the end of the year and I've not won one. That would be quite funny.
That was me last year. I think I only won 2 last year.
Yeah. Really did.
Yeah, but look, you've got 1 vote already. Look, Poptimist. Sabine gets 1
awesome.
Vote. Just 1 more going on for me. There we go. So obviously we are now on to the week number 9. This is last week is the Killer Comic Show. This week we picked 4 comics. We've gone for Newburn issue number 4, Miles Morales, What If He Became Captain America, Nocterra issue number 8, and The Nice House on the Lake issue number 7.
I like how he said we picked 4 comics, Andy.
I didn't want to say, but yeah. We've got to the point now where Charlie is allowed to pick 2 books now. We really need to have a chat about that, Charlie. We must have an internal meeting discussion.
It wasn't that I was allowed to pick 4, but I knew we'd all been reading Newburn, and I was like, Newburn's it's a good comic. I don't want us to miss it. So I put it to the vote, and you guys went quiet. You didn't reply to me, so I was like, right, that must be a yes then. So I just dropped it in. But yeah, up first. There you go. What if?
Oh, right. Okay. So up first, it's me. My pick was the new What If series, which is all based around Miles Morales. The first issue is based around him as if he was becoming Captain America. So you've got the main cover by Bocelli, the variant cover by Alan Quay. You've got the 1 in 200 by Ivan Coelho, and the Brian I don't even know how to say that name. Steel Fleece variant. And the art, it's written by Cody Zigler. So it should have been quite a good book. I actually did enjoy it because I read it last out of all the other books. So it was quite a nice book to read at the end of the intensity that is the other books that we read this week. So it was quite nice not to have to use my brain. I did enjoy the first couple of panels. So like I enjoyed this first panel where it kind of mirrors Captain America, like the origins of Captain America, and it actually shows that it's more of a modern version of him. So it's not a case of what if Miles Morales had been Captain America back in Captain America's day. It's what if Captain America was made now, and it was Miles Morales who was the first Captain America. It was Captain America. So I quite liked this mirror image of it to start with, and it got through the book, and then it just got really quite childish. And I thought this is obviously not someone like me who want a bit more maturity read, but it then got quite good towards the end. Like the fight scenes were pretty good. I liked the fact that they had the Prowler was in it as a character. I liked that it opened up this thing that you're now going to see more Miles Morales and things. However, I'm probably sure the guys will agree with me. I feel like this is a bit of a cash cow. So like the Spider-Verse was successful. They're now doing the Gwenumverse, which is probably going to be a little bit successful. And now I think they're going to try to do the What If Miles Morales universe of him, lots of different versions of him, which is what this book's about. But I don't know whether or not any of these characters are going to be stand out, or whether they're really trying hard to make a new Miles Morales character stand out. I'm not really sure. Overall, I would give it a killer for me, but a very low killer. And it's only because I'm only saying it's a killer because it was a real light relief after what else we read this week. Otherwise, if I'd have read just this and nothing else, it'd have been a dinner for me. Andy, what do you think?
Where do I start with this one? So first of all, thank you for picking it because it wouldn't have been a book that I'd have read if I'm honest. So again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, that this is the beauty of this show, that we get to pick different books. I thought for me I thought it was very, very predictable. I almost went into this book kind of assuming what was going to happen, and I wasn't wrong. I thought the dialogue in it was quite cheesy, and I think you're absolutely right. It was kind of directed to like a younger audience. It felt the artwork. Kind of most of the time, the artwork can be a bit of a saving grace for a lot of comics that I maybe don't enjoy the story, but unfortunately, I don't think this one was. I felt that maybe not necessarily these 2 pages that you're showing here, but did you not think that it was a bit flat? The backgrounds and stuff like that were a bit lazy, and there was no detail in them, no distinguishing features, which obviously meant that the characters popped, but that only lasts for so many panels. It did feel a little bit like kind of like paint by numbers, to a certain extent, the narrative. And for instance, we had like a villain that had a coloured themed skull and had a square that glowed. They were just picking narratives and plot stories from the MCU that we've already seen. So again, that added to the predictability. Miles had a loved one that kind of falls to their death and miraculously comes back alive, and we've seen that before in the MCU. Now, I can appreciate it. It's not meant to be a take it too serious, and it's meant to be a bit of fun, which I can understand people would do that. But for me, it was just a wee bit uninspiring. I think in a world that we have a paper shortage, this was kind of a waste of a tree, to be fair.
Yeah, I could agree more.
I've got to agree with both of you. Like, this isn't a book that I would have picked up because, like, I think like the original What Ifs, they were kind of good. They had like a story behind them, and they was good. This, I think, as you mentioned, it's just a cash cow. It's just like they're really pushing Miles Morales now, and obviously, yeah, you've got to do that for like if one of your like most prominent characters, you want to bring them to the forefront and everything. But it was predictable. Like as soon as like the events that happen in it from the villain, you kind of knew straight away that it was going to be the Prowler, it was going to be his uncle that was doing it. But saying that, by the end of it, I'm going to read issue number 2 because I want to see how this is going to pan out. Like I did, like it wasn't a great story. It's not going to win awards. It is a Marvel comic at the end of the day, and yeah, it's fun, it's humor, it's based around like Captain America and Miles Morales and stuff. But it was all right. It was okay. I do like these 2 panels. I think these 2 panels are the best thing about it. Has he gone? Where's he gone?
Yeah, the panel on the right.
Yeah.
Have I gone? Am I not there?
No, you're back. You're back.
Am I back? Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I cut it out then, to be fair. I thought it was you guys that cut it out, to be fair. I thought it was on my own. Yeah, I was going to say that panel on the right really gives you Wolverine, so it to look forward to. Am I gone out again?
No, just keep talking. It's fine. We'll go with it. Just keep talking.
So just forget it. Move on.
So yeah, I'm interested to see like all these different Miles Morales coming in with like Thor, Hulk, Wolverine, and the Spider-Man as well. So yeah, for me, it's not a killer. Andy, I assume it's a binner for you.
Yeah, it wasn't a killer for me. I don't think.
It's a shame, but I mean, for the Marvel fans out there, for the Spider fans out there, I think it'd be a good one to jump onto, but not for me. I'm afraid. I think I'm slowly drifting away from Marvel, unfortunately. But so yeah, positive start to the show. But Andy, now, Jesus Christ, go on, mate. This was your pick.
It was intense. It was really, really intense. It was nice to see this book back. Is it just me, or was it absolutely ages since issue 6?
It seems ages ago. I swear it was like November.
Yeah, it felt like that. I had to reread issue sort of 5 and 6 to sort of get my brain in gear for what I was about to read. And I don't think they held back with this book. It almost became even more mysterious, and they sort of upped it. It was less like scary horror and more like human horror.
Yeah.
That they upped the ante in this one. So we obviously started to find out a little bit more about Walter, and this book's got a lovely way of like making him like a bit of like the anti-hero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it looks in like way back in the past where he seems as kind of an okay person, but he's got that underlying sort of Blacktop Bill-esque sort of vibe about him. I think the really cool thing about this particular story was I didn't get the front cover of this book. Did anybody else? Did I miss the rats in this story?
No, I didn't.
Charlie?
I didn't get it either. I mean, obviously, the cover B is where like the sculptures and everything that's going on. But yeah, this I didn't really, and other than it being one of the main characters, I didn't really get what it was about.
Yeah, they're rats in a cage, aren't they? They're experimental rats in a cage. That's the premise behind it.
That's absolutely probably spot on. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But well done, 100%.
Did you hear me? Did I come through okay?
Well, yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that's it.
So I'm leaving.
But yeah, it was a good book. Yeah.
And I picked your panels as well, Andy.
So the panel on the left, I thought the color work was fantastic on this, especially the last 2 panels in that left-hand page. Just the sort of look of fear and bleakness in her face, and the red hair popped, even though it was like panels that were in fire. The red hair really popped in this one, and then kind of a juxtaposed against this sort of panel on the right-hand side where. Despite it just being a entirely black page, it had huge amount of emotion for me. I think Nora is the character's name,
Yeah.
And throughout this book, you kind of felt their pain, pretty much, because all the people that are living in the house are effectively trapped and against their will, but Nora is even up to ante and is left on their own completely in this other building that nobody knows where they are, and she's kind of been sort of excluded because they have transitioned from what Walter would have known when they were young to what they are now, and he obviously doesn't like that. So Nora's been sort of banished to this other building, and kind of kept as a pet. And I guess that kind of links into what Tom was saying, the sort of the pet rat. They're all rats in a cage type thing. So yeah.
This was the first comic I read for the show, and I'll tell you what, it was. I had to step back and take a breath after reading this. I was like, this is. I think because it had been on such a hiatus, I was like, wow, is this? But it was intense. But this is how they've been leading up to it. Like James Tynion has done this. Like this is 6 issues we'd read, and then it comes to this, and I was like, oh, I've kind of forgotten about it. But then I realised how intense it was, how good the artwork is, and how bloody scary the actual story is. Because I think for each individual story we've had, we've got to know a different character. We've got to know about them and what their connection is with water and stuff. This was just freaky as hell. Like I really, really enjoyed it. Like the fact is that the panel on the right hand side just instantly reminded me of Venom 33, that cover where Eddie Brock is walking away and it's just a black cover and you can kind of see him. But that just signifies how everyone is bloody feeling locked up in this house. Like they don't know whether they're coming or going, what the world's on the outside, don't know whether to trust Walter for the goodness of it or whether to listen to him because he's actually speaking half like decent stuff about what's going to go on. But it is a freaky comic. I'm surprised. This is DC Black Label, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is. You can tell. You can just literally, and I'm so more involved in DC Black Label comics because they kind of just go that little bit further and give you a little bit more and gain you a little bit more interest than you do. But the artwork in this is great. I'm really, thank you so much for picking this, Andy.
Yeah, definitely up to the mysterious element. The tension was definitely raised on this one, and again, I think even though it was so long since issue 6 to issue 7, it felt as if they'd sort of just dragged the reader back in, and you were invested again in those characters that you'd sort of built up almost like a relationship in the first 6 issues. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a killer, and I'm really looking forward to issue 8.
100% this was a killer. Tom, just before you go on, I did mention, I think when we reviewed issue number 5 and 6, I mentioned that, I think it was Tom, you as well, the typescript, when you turn over the page and there was a typescript of everyone like going over what the characters was. I kind of got sick and tired of that, but I really missed it in this issue because it would have been great to kind of get the narrative of what the other characters were talking about when you was leading on to this. So James, if you're watching this, add it into issue number 8, please. Tom?
Sorry, what? You want me to know what I thought?
Yes, please, mate.
Well, I'll start with the negative. I still find it really hard to read this book because the artwork, I like the artwork, but it can be a bit mushy. So I still don't know who's who. And I find it really difficult to differentiate between who's who half the time. And I'm still getting used to the names rather than being called the comedian or the artist and this, that, and the other. However, I read from issue 4 to this issue back to back because I hadn't read one since issue 4. And I'm glad I did because it does solidify what this book's all about and the fact that they are rats stuck in a cage and they are an experiment. And Walter loves them so much, he doesn't want them to like literally disintegrate like everyone else on the planet. He's trying to look after them in such a way that he's now manipulating their minds and wiping their memories so he can replay it so they don't ever fall out of love with him, which I think is really interesting that he's trying to really replay those situations where he's like, okay, I fucked up here, so let's rewind. That never happened. Let's start again. And I like the fact that he's now in the house with them.
Yeah.
And he wasn't before. So he's now in the house and he's now playing the victim that he's part of the group. So he's like an infiltrator, if you like. And I like that they've swapped the artist and Noah around. So the artist was on his own to start with, kind of putting it all together. And then they found him. And now they found him and they know too much. Walter switched them around and now Noah's on her own. I think that's quite an interesting thing. And I think if you go, I don't know if you guys picked this up. It might be just because I've read all those issues back to back. But Noah's the one that he loves the most. Like, he's the one that he's kind of like invested a lot of time with, a lot of like talk. I mean, he loves the artist, like actually loves the artist, like wants to be with the artist. However, Noah's the one that he goes to for advice, goes to for, all the human aspects that we
Yeah,
want from people, like, you're doing a good job, pat on the back sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why he's now had to take that character out and cage that character, because he now needs her or him to like help him making sure that he knows he's doing the right thing going forward. And I think that's such a really interesting concept on this story. And I think, like you said, Charlie, it is quite a terrifying concept that there could be an alien sat in our bedrooms talking away to us that we went to college with, who's going to wipe us out. And all he's done since you've been with him is, been your mate and asked you, how would you like the world to end? Or how do you think the world would end? So I think that's quite interesting. And I can't wait to see where it's going to go. I really can't.
I did feel like I missed something though, because at the end of issue number 6, you get their friend that was in the outer house come into the building, and then he wakes up the next morning and is like, oh, I'm just going to paint and I'm going to do something. And then the next thing you know, Walter's in the house. So confirm this if I'm wrong, but do they now know that Walter's an alien, but has he kind of...
He's wiped that. He's wiped that in this issue. So the issue before, so issue 6, at the end of issue 6, they find the artist and it starts raining, blah, blah, blah. He starts revealing to them about how it's an experiment and how they're the ones that have got to basically show that the human race are worth keeping alive. And then Walter's come in, he's like, you know too much, and wipes all of their memories, moves Noah out of the house, moves himself into the house, and they all have no idea why they're there. It's so good. So he's literally turned the tables right up on top of his head.
That's mental.
And that's what I mean.
It is a good scary comic.
If I'd have read Miles Morales first and then this, Miles Morales would have been a binner. But because I read Miles Morales after this, I was like, oh my God, thank God for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was an intense, interesting read. Poptimus has said that cover is a homage to UB40. Sean just said the one time Tom's internet works and he drops that bomb. This is going to be an absolute hit when it comes to Netflix. It will be immense. And Leon Russell has said, I think Nice House is a future classic and defining Tynion. I prefer it to Something is Killing the Children in Department of Truth. I am enjoying it. I've never read Department of Truth. I couldn't get the artwork. I found it really hard to read, and I kind of just couldn't get it.
I'd agree with you that, mate.
I just couldn't get. But this for me definitely is 100% killer. So at least we're moving on good. We kind of got a binner, and now we've got 3 killers. Up next is Newburn, issue number 4 by Chip Zdarsky and Jacob Phillips. Massive shout out to Chip Zdarsky. He's now taking on Batman, which I'm really, really excited about. It's about time. Man. And yeah, this is Newburn. This is a crime noir-esque comic that's about what is he? Like a private investigator?
A pub owner.
He's a pub owner, right? And he's from South London.
Pub.
He's from South London pub owner.
He's from East London. No, he kind of works. He's got his fingers in many pies, shall we say? He's like a gangster amongst thieves that kind of works with every single crime syndicate and family there is, and he kind of comes up trumps sometimes, and he comes up against some people that we don't really like. But this is a really good story. I'm really liking this. Like this and King of Spies, and this are the two crime stories that I'm really liking at the moment. But this is issue number 4, and it kind of all came to a head. Like he kind of engaged in a business deal that he thought he could swerve out of, and then we kind of understand that he can't, and is he bitten off more than he can chew. And then I've gone for these 2 panels because it kind of gives enough away without giving too much away. But this is a great story. Like this is really, and I'm really, really interested. Like Chip Zdarsky is obviously killing it with whatever he's doing else at the moment. But this, for me, this is really, really intriguing. I really like it. It's Image again. It's not a Marvel comic. It's not a DC comic. It's Image that's at the forefront of my kind of reading, and I'm really enjoying it. And I don't know what you guys thought about it, but the artwork has been consistent. The story's been consistent, and I've really, really enjoyed it every single issue. Andy?
Agreed. I thought this was my favourite issue of Newburn. So it kind of took like a slightly different turn this issue, where Newburn is effectively asked by the Police Benevolent Association to go and find out who murdered one of the police officers. And obviously he doesn't want to and can't do that because he is working for all the crime families. The crime families get wind that he has agreed to investigate this murder, and what they find out is that it was actually the nephew of one of the crime lords. And that's what you see in this left-hand panel here, which I think is an absolute... who's the artist on this again? Is it
Jacob Phillips?
Jacob Phillips, yeah. I was going to say Sean Phillips. Jacob Phillips, and I thought he done a fantastic job on this issue. We then obviously find that Newburn sort of turns us on its head, and where we think that he's going to sort of effectively snitch on the crime families, he turns it on its head when he goes to the page on the right-hand side. So you pick two quality pages here to represent it, and the chief of the police association thinks that he's going to get the name of the person, and basically Newburn says, look, he basically killed himself, and we know that wasn't obviously the case, but he kept his association with all the gangs intact, and was able to save the nephew of the crime boss. I thought this story was great. It felt like a really quick read to me, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing after Nice House on the Lake, but definitely easily the best issue that I've read in this, and really looking forward to issue 5. Tom, what do you think?
I did the same thing with this one as I did with Nice House on the Lake, because basically I've just had no time to have any time to read over the last couple of months. So I actually read from issue 2 to this one, and the development of the character is absolutely insane. Chip Zdarsky is an absolute legend for the way he develops characters. His partner in this, the girl that he's working with, her character development is absolutely insane. And I think in this issue, like you said, Andy, I would say this is the best issue of Newburn, and she really comes into her own because she's basically starts challenging him, which I quite liked. And I liked that in this issue, he's like, no, stay out of it. And then she is in it. And it's like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. And I think the idea that he's playing all of the crime bosses and the police department. And I like that Chip Zdarsky is basically making out that the police department is part of the crime syndicates of New York. They're all part of it. Even the police force are part of his kind of web of, everything's crooked, and he works for all of them. And I think that's really clever. And it kind of touches on the fact that he used to be a police officer or a police detective. And I'm guessing at some point we're going to get a little bit more information on that and how that's going to come about. So I'm sure that's quite an interesting story. I'm looking forward to getting into. But I did really like the twist in this, how you thought he was kind of fucked, and then he didn't. He kind of swindled his way out of it. I thought it was really clever. Very clever writing. I think Chip Zdarsky was amazing.
It was a pure Columbo moment. That's what it reminded me of when that happened. And it's interesting you said that you read it from issue 2 to 4, because I think this will be a great read whenever it comes out in trade paperback. So if you haven't jumped on this yet, just wait till the trade paperback comes out and then just consume it all at once, because I think it's one of those stories, almost like a Phillips and Brubaker story, where you can just sit and enjoy it for what it is. And as you say, Tom, you'll see that development of the character. Yeah. I think we'll definitely get a major twist at the end. I think he's got, something up his sleeve where he's just going to take down everybody. I think that's maybe the end game here.
I've got a theory that the reason he's brought her on, and I know her theory for him bringing her on, is the fact that she's there to challenge him because there's no one else that can do it. There's no one else that'd be like, right, you're doing the wrong thing. Are you pushing yourself too far? I've got a theory, and I spent about an hour talking to Charlotte about it, and she's like, I've no idea who the character is. What the fuck are you talking about? Please stop talking to me. But I was like, my theory is he's dying, and he wants someone to take over from him, and she's the only person he's ever come across that's got the same kind of bollocks that he has to take on this job. And I think that's what he's doing it for.
Interesting. That I can definitely see that. It ties in again to King of Spies. Obviously, King of Spies character is dying and stuff like that. But you can definitely see that being the second arc in that case, where she becomes Newburn and takes over the mantle and stuff like that. So it's not
necessarily his name; it's more like his kind of persona becomes everybody's.
Because I think it was issue number 2 where we first get to see her, and he was investigating a case that she was quite in with. So for her to become part of his setup, that's a good. Tom, you're dropping bombs left, right, and centre tonight, mate.
I'm trying.
You are, mate. But yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed this, and I think like Sean's just hit it on your head. If Zdarsky's, I don't know who is that his brother? I don't know. Zdarsky's.
Zdarsky.
If Zdarsky's Batman is even half as good as his Daredevil, we're in for a treat. I definitely think we are. You know, I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, remember, this is probably practice for him for Batman. Batman's a detective.
Yeah.
So
it is going to be interesting. But yeah, this was
and Daredevil was blind. Bats are blind.
I've never understood that. Bats are blind, yet they come out at night. What's the difference?
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know.
I've never understood that. Never get it. Connie has said the only Chip Zdarsky book I've ever read is The All-Nighter. I've never heard of that one. I'm going to have to.
No, it's good. Yeah, it's good. No, definitely. Chip Zdarsky's books are fantastic. You definitely just go through the back catalogue. Definitely read Daredevil, but there's a lot of it to read. But if you want a quick read, then wait till the trade paperback comes out for this.
And see, this is what I love. So you'll remember at the start of the show, you both was like, "Oh, so Charlie gets to pick 2 books." I didn't. I suggested this because I know you guys so well. I knew you'd love this book, and I was right. So yeah, it's a killer all round. I'm so glad it was, because if it was a bin, I was about to literally drop the mic and walk off. And even Tom, you can take over. But yes, so we're doing well. We're doing well. So that's a killer. Chip Zdarsky, Jacob Phillips, Newburn, issue number 4 from Image Comics, out last week. Now we have Nocterra, issue number 8, written by the fantastic Scott Snyder, art by Tony S. Daniel. Again, this came out last week. There was 4 covers for this. We had the main cover by Tony S. Daniel, cover C, which is my favourite, which is the Daniel Miolo cover, the 1 in 50 Dustin and Nguyen variant cover, and we have cover E by the fantastic Christian Ward. This, for me, just gets better and better and better. Like, honestly, I am so invested in this, and I can't remember which one of you it was that suggested this, but thank you so much for suggesting this last year, because this literally blew my socks off. This is one of my favorite comics that I'm reading consistently. It's fucking awesome. The art in it is sublime. The story in it is amazing. The narrative, the character direction, the character building is sensational, and it features one of the most lovable villains.
Yeah.
I just got like, after the Blacktop Bill one shot, I was like, can this character get any more lovable and you hate him at the same time? This story, just the color work on this issue, just I was blown away. Like, I absolutely loved it. And again, I've kind of gone to pick the cover on the left, the image on the left. The page after that kind of gives it away, so I've kind of gone for this one. But it's wicked. It's honestly, this is so great. I'm really loving this comic. I can't help but sing it, and I really am so bloody interested to see how issue number 9 goes on, because this arc has really picked up speed from where issue number 6 left off. Then we had the Blacktop Bill one shot, and then it's picked up to this. This is full throttle, man. I'm absolutely loving it.
That's the sequel, Full Throttle.
Yeah, that's why I said it. There we go. Boom, boom. But yeah, 100% killer for me.
100% killer.
100%.
Tom, what do you think?
I loved it. Nocterra is one of my favorite comics. Again, I had to read a couple of issues to catch up, but I was only, I think, 2 issues behind. So again, I had to read 2 to get to this point. But I agree with Charlie. I don't know how Snyder has done it, but Blacktop Bill has got to be one of the worst villains. Like, he's sadistic, he's horrible, he's one of the worst. But yet, I really love him. I think he's great. I think he's one of my favorite villains.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony S. Daniels does a great job of the artwork in this. I mean, we spoke earlier, Andy, you were saying about with the Miles Morales What If cover, how the backgrounds were lacking a little bit and it makes your characters pop. Tony S. Daniels does that in this book, but it's worth it. Like, the characters, the way he makes the characters like pop. I mean, the backgrounds aren't that detailed, but because the story is so well written and the way he's drawn it, each individual character's got such emotion, the way they move, the way they're stood, their facial expressions, that you don't necessarily need all that background behind you. So I really liked his artwork in this, and I thought the story was fantastic. The twist at the end, which you can see on the right-hand panel, I thought it was incredible. And the fact that this evil bad guy that has been out to destroy everything just wants, to join the Nocterra god or whatever he is, and just wants to be a part of that, to suddenly do what he does is like, oh, mic drop, boom, see ya, let's go, everyone, you can go home now. Snyder is just like killing it, mate. I absolutely really love this book. It's probably my favorite book this week that we've read, mainly because I read it first, probably, but it was a nice level of it's not too intense to read, it's not too much to take home with you. It's very simple kind of going, but it's got a really good twist. So I would definitely recommend, if you haven't been reading Nocterra, to read it. 100%. Killer from me. Andy?
100%. No, I totally agree with both of you guys. I think this has been another really consistent book. I think the artwork is the winner for me in this book. I think in this particular issue, it kind of took a really sharp turn, and the fact that, you know, the convoy that we've been following for every issue is kind of been on the defensive for the last 7 issues, and then they're ready to sort of take that fight to Blacktop Bill. And that the twist effectively is that those guys are going to team up with Blacktop Bill now. I think after 8 issues it needed it, because for me, like, we get it. Blacktop Bill is sadistic, horrible, evil person and basically kills everything in sight. And we know that he's evil. But I just wondered how many more issues Snyder could continue to draw that out, and it felt like it was getting drawn out a little bit. So he's introduced us to this new character now, the Shade King, and you can almost, I don't know if it's a little bit of predictability. I mean, I could be completely wrong, and I normally am. Everybody does tell me that, but I think what's going to happen is Blacktop Bill will become that sort of anti-hero, and the Shade King will eventually be the person that kills Blacktop Bill. So you'll become this sort of, you know, anti-hero, and then the guys will go and try and battle the Shade King. So that's kind of where I see it going. So it'll be interesting to see if Snyder continues with, and how he develops the Blacktop Bill character, because for me, he can't get any worse. And how is he going to work with these guys now? How is he going to work with the convoy after everything that's happened? It kind of felt almost like some of that stuff that had happened, it was really bad to the convoy. It was irrelevant now. Why would they ever agree to work together? It just seems crazy. But yeah, we shall see.
Do you know what?
Go on. Sorry.
Do you know what you were saying there, Andy, about like how you're going to how they're going to forgive it and stuff like that? It kind of is how Walking Dead, the TV show, is going at the moment. We've got
literally what I was going to say.
You've got Negan, who literally smashed in Glenn's head, I think, in like season 7 or something like that. Smashed his head in with a baseball bat. But now he's part of the main setup, and he's literally working with Maggie. But yet it all kind of seems to have forgotten. But yet you've got Emery, who is like, no, I believe him. And then I still think there's going to be some trepidation whether like they believe him or not. I don't think it's. I think I really, it's true. Like, where could Scott Snyder have gone? I think if he hadn't dropped this in now, how many more issues do we go on before you're like, okay, you're dragging it out now. We're going to see how Blacktop Bill like fades into this or whatever and stuff like that. But the artwork is amazing. Like that, her face, Valerie's face is incredible.
Yeah. I have a feeling that this is going to kind of come to a head with Blacktop Bill saving Valerie's life against the Shade King. I can see that happening.
And I think it's what Poptimus just said. It's very Negan-esque. It's like Negan saving Maggie. It's and Andy, I think you've hit nail on the head here. I think Blacktop Bill's going to get killed, and we're all going to be like, oh my god, what they done? They just literally killed off the anti-villain, but yet we'll forget what he did in the previous 10 issues or whatever. But I'm in it for the long haul. I've picked up the trade paperback. I've been picking up every single issue of this, and I'm loving it.
I can't wait till it comes on to like TV or a movie or whatever, because it's going to be intense. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Chris Bell's got a thinking. I think Bill will kill Emery at some point. Emery isn't free. Yeah. See, I don't think, like, obviously he's got over the shade, and then like he's still like seeing what they can see, and he's still hearing what they can hear. So I don't think he has become 100% free from it. But it's going to be interesting. And Dino, Negan and Maggie are also getting their own spin-off show as well. That's going to be good as well, because Negan recently.
To be
Yeah,
fair.
Negan, I think it was in, 2 weeks ago, Negan left the show, but is he gone? Who knows? But yes, 3 killers out of 4 ain't bad. Is it really?
All right, bad. To be fair, though, I'm just going to put it out there. The one I picked was shit. And I knew it was going to be shit. But I wanted my first day back to be shit.
I think it was definitely light relief compared to the other books, in fairness.
Yeah.
I think if I had read Miles at the end, I think that would have done me a favour, because almost after reading these 3 books, you're kind of like, it's too much. Especially, Tom, if you had to read multiple issues of it as well.
Yeah.
Like
it was mostly because I read Newburn first, and then I read this, and then I read the Nice House on the Lake, and reading that from issue 4 to issue 7 just completely mushed my mind, and I was like, I'm really glad I've got this book that's basically for children. Happy days.
Get the colouring pens out and start thinking.
Don't worry, guys. I'll step up my game next week. I'm back in the game.
That's good. That's good. You've been dropping bombs. Maybe you can. What if Tom drops a decent comic? That'd be great, wouldn't it?
What if Tom drops a decent comic? What if Tom finally does something amazing?
Mate, come on. You are. So, before we move on, let's check the votes. So, we've got in 3rd place, we've got Tom with 17%. In 2nd place, we've got Andy with 33%. And in 1st place, we've got me with 50%. So, it's pretty close.
Nice.
Pretty close. Looking forward to seeing how this one
is. Of not getting one single comic cover all year.
I think you'll be all right. I think you'll be all right. But Tom, one thing that we have really, really missed with you doing it, and me and Andy haven't been able to do it. So this is a welcome return.
Righto. The Killer Keys is back.
Over to you.
Over to me. So, guys, this is the Killer Keys that I am kind of suggesting you go out and pick up next week. On the 15th, it's the DC Comics. On the 16th is everything else. I suggest you go down to your local comic book shops and pick these up for specific reasons. First up is Carnage issue 1, written by Ram V, who was on the show with us last week. If you haven't seen it, head over and watch it on the Rewind. It was a great show. We got an insight into his brain and how everything works, and it's all like this pool of knowledge that he's got, and he gets obsessed with lots of different things, which is pretty cool. This has been put forward as it's going to be this kind of it's the premiere issue, first issue, but it is going to be this horror-esque issue, and there's going to be things that happen in this issue that you would never normally see in any comic book written by Marvel. So it's one that's worth picking up just for that, because it's stuff you're not going to want to miss / are probably never going to see in a comic book written with Marvel on the front cover. Do you know what I mean?
Was it Ram? Did Ram say it was this comic, or was it Aquaman Andromeda, where he said you'll read it and think, wow, this is something I didn't think Ram V would do?
Well, I think it's probably this one, but it could be the Andromeda, but I think it's probably this one, because I found I think it might be Bleeding Cool, that it's quoted to people who've read this it's been called a blood curdling series.
Mm-hmm.
Spine chilling.
Didn't Ram say, he said this is the type of comic where Carnage sets the ball rolling and just sits back and adores what's happening. I can't wait to read this.
Like a psychopath just watches everything unfold rather than actually being involved.
Proper psychopath. But yeah, this might actually be a Carnage book that I look forward to and start collecting.
Yeah, definitely. I would, mate. And I think from what I can tell from what we spoke to Ram, going in a completely different direction. So something that you've not seen before. So he's kind of pushing the boundaries with Marvel. So that's cool. I like that.
Looking forward to that one.
Cool. Next up is a Black Caravan comic. I don't know why it says... I do know why it says Scout, because when you look into it, it's a Scout comic. However, it's written down as a Black Caravan, which really confused me. But this is red. Go on, sorry.
I think Scout Comics, it's an imprint. So Black Caravan are basically under the umbrella of Scout Comics, I think.
Yeah. Cool. I didn't know that, but thanks, mate.
So what's this one about, mate?
So this is written by Tristan Gallagher, and this is Rad Wraith, and this is essentially a story about a skateboarder who goes to a skate park. He gets murdered at the skate park, but the people who murder him don't realize that they've just murdered him on an ancient burial ground or spiritual burial ground.
Of course.
Thus, he then comes back as a killer skateboarder. Now, at first, I read it and I thought, that sounds a little bit naff. But some of the kind of on Bleeding Cool, there's some like images of what goes on in the book. Actually, looks like it could be quite a good book to read. It's a key because it's the first appearance of this character, and it's a first issue, so it's worth picking up for those.
It does look a bit like an urban Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
This could be interesting.
I think that's the idea, really. It's a bit like Solomon Grundy type thing. So, like, he died in like a swamp, but he's come back, and he's now like on a path of righteousness of killing people.
Am I right in thinking that this is the first ever indie comic you've picked for your Killer Keys?
Yes. Well, actually, no, not the first time. If you remember the first time, you took my key slide away because Andy picked the same thing.
Oh yeah.
So I'm trying now to talk with Andy to decide on who does what.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'm so sorry. It's not. It saves us from clashing, doesn't it? And then
because you both got great taste. That's why.
Exactly. And then my next pick is a comic by Alexander Freed and artwork by Martin Tunick. This is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and this is the Forgotten Myths. This is a prequel to the Assassin's Creed video game. But this one follows Bjor, who is Odin's eldest son. Balor, sorry, not Bjor. And it follows him and his story and how he tries to take Odin's crown. So it's all about that. And then the mythology of how that then passes down into the Assassin's Creed character, whose name I can't remember. Elrond. So this is a key because it's the first appearance of Balor and Odin in a comic book. A Valhalla comic book, anyway. Assassin's Creed versions.
I'm all for this. I am all for it. There's a new Viking series that's just started on Netflix, I think it is.
Oh, yes, there is.
Of course there is. I'm talking to a bloody ancestor of a Viking. Of course he's going to be watching it. But yeah, Assassin's Creed is obviously a fantastic game on the PlayStation. So this is, and Valhalla is the latest game as well. So this is awesome. So yeah, I'm all over this. Looking forward to this. Up next.
And then finally, my last pick for this week is the only first appearance for next week, and it is the Batman the Knight comic written by Chip Zdarsky. It is an amazing book. If you guys haven't read it, it's very, very good. But this is the first appearance of the Foundling, who is a serial killer. There's not much known about him yet. I think he's been kind of teased a couple of times within the book, but this is going to be his first proper appearance. Also, I absolutely love this cover, and I love how Catwoman's hands are represent the head of the bat. I think it's really, really, really clever the way they've done that.
I'm just so looking forward to Chip Zdarsky doing Batman.
Yeah, man.
I'm really, Andy. I know you're not really into like your Batman and stuff. Do you reckon you'll start reading that with Chip Zdarsky or not?
I'm kind of going like that to see what's happening. My brain can't understand what's going on in the cover.
So you can see the wings. See the wings? Yeah. So her hand is basically the head of the bat.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I see it. Okay. Right.
Clever.
That's another bomb that you've dropped there. I did not get that. I was looking at it going, I don't understand.
I probably should have 2 weeks off more often.
Yeah. I don't think I will pick this up. No.
Do you reckon you'll read his main Batman run though?
Oh yeah.
I'll definitely. If only because it's Chip, I'll give it a go and see what's what. But I just don't want to get invested because I done the same with Daredevil. Like I says, I'll read it and see what it's like, and I really enjoyed it. And then I'm 30 odd issues deep, and it just costs too much.
Batman's only on 123 at the moment, so you ain't got that far to catch up on.
Yeah.
Just get the Zdarsky run. Yeah. Anyway, to be fair, Andy, you'll have to read it because me and Charlie will probably pick it.
Yeah, there we go. And then obviously you can give him a friendly little scan, and it will take you to Tom's OnlyFans, where you can pay $5.99 for the 2022 Naked Fireman mailing calendar.
Absolutely, bang on.
There we go. There we go. That ad is already doing that. But yeah, but I'm looking forward to that. Tom, it's so good to have you back with your killer keys, mate, because I think the times that me and Andy have done it and you've sent us through, it doesn't work the same. We
Do you know
need your
what's
love for
really
the keys.
annoying? Like, I was really chuffed to be back and really excited to do this killer keys, but like finding decent keys to talk about was hard work this week. Got to scrape the barrel a little bit. I mean, Carnage, awesome. Batman, awesome. Assassin's Creed, awesome. Wraith,
The text messages going back and forth with that was hilarious. That was some light heart reading there. Wraith. I didn't have a clue what that comic was called. I was just like, right, yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Basically, if you're new to the show and you've never seen me on the show before, you'll get used to the fact that I can't spell. So they take the mickey out of me for it.
Have we got our air guitars ready? Have you got your air guitar ready? Because this is the most rocking intro on any YouTube show there is. Nice.
What sort of guitar is that you're playing, Charlie?
It's like a violin style guitar.
It's like a thought-provoking invisible cello.
I know how Prince used to play the guitar. To be fair,
yeah.
I don't know.
This is the Killer Indies for March the 16th. Am I controlling the slides?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. So first up, we have Stillwater, The Escape, issue number 1. So this is a one-shot by Chip Zdarsky and Ramon Perez, which is kind of like the gap between the next issue of Stillwater, which seems to have been, again, another one that's been weeks and weeks and weeks since the last issue. Looking forward to this one. I think this is going to give us a lot of answers, but it's going to raise a lot of questions as well, I think, which will lead into the next issue of the run. Synopsis-wise, it says the answers you demanded. They say that no one ever dies in Stillwater and no one gets to leave. But even for those who have freed themselves of the town, is there truly escaping Stillwater? So that is the question.
This cover, 100%. This cover poses a question because they're the two main characters. You got the hero, and then you've got the villain, the antagonist. It's interesting. I'm like Chip Zdarsky for me. This is again another consistent story, and they seem to have done what Scott Snyder did with Nocterra. They've kind of put an infill like they did with the Blacktop Bill one shot, and they've done the same here. But still, it was great. Like it's been consistently good since 2020 when it came out.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if this will be like the Blacktop Bill type situation where we had that one shot and then we sort of questioned, was it really necessary? But again, you've got to sort of trust Chip knows what they're doing. Everything he seems to be bringing out seems to be absolutely fantastic. And the iconic scene there, Zdarsky is the author of the week, definitely. I don't think there's a show that we don't mention Chip Zdarsky.
Oh,
you got to pick it up, Tom?
Oh, mate, I'm going to pick it up. Do you think, because it's called Stillwater the Escape, do you think this is going to be like the turning point of Stillwater, where like it actually all kicks off and like lines get drawn in the sand? Because I'm just thinking, looking at this cover, he's drawn a line straight down the middle.
Yeah.
So is he basically saying it's about to kick off? Like this is the start of the war between these two.
Yeah. It could almost be like looking into it. Now that you mentioned like split down the middle, it could we think that they're in the same place, but they could be in two completely different places, and the only thing is the fire in the middle, sort of thing. So, yeah, no, it's definitely one if you're reading Stillwater that you're going to have to pick up. So, I think it might be one that goes on our list for 2 weeks' time.
I'm definitely picking this up, 100%.
Next up, we have Slumber issue number 1. So we've got a new issue number 1. This is by Image Comics, written by Tyler Smith, and the art is by Vanessa Cardinale. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So a brand new number 1. It's by Image Comics. Image seem to be dropping absolute bombs lately. from a synopsis wise, it says Nathan Fox Stetson, what a name, is a nightmare hunter, a dream detective. She runs a shoddy back alley business where she helps clients sleep at night by entering their dreams and killing their nightmares. But Stetson's past comes back to haunt her when she tracks down a literal living nightmare, a serial killer that murders people in their sleep. Sounds absolutely delightful.
Sounds amazing. Sounds like Monster Inc. gone wrong.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, I didn't think it that way. Yeah, no, it's Monster Inc. on drugs, by the sound of things.
Yeah, I love the door aspect. Like, here's a door, and it's like the window, like the door into your soul, into your dreams. I like that. It's cool.
I'd be picking up this. I quite like it.
Yeah, me too. Okay, let's pick it. We should have it.
Yeah,
100%. I think, like, is she going to be like Image's Erica Slaughter?
I'm having it. I'm picking this one for that week.
There we go. Yes.
There we go.
Yes. Next up, we have Playthings, issue number 1. Again, another issue number 1. And Tom, this is another Black Caravan one as well. So this is written by John Clark and art by Travis Williamson. And Alison Hart wakes up inside a bright candy-coloured room to discover that she's tied down with licorice. Small toys around her move because they're alive, and her hands are no longer real. She struggles to piece together the surreal and horrific events that led her to this place, and more importantly, what has happened to her young daughter, Emma. Wow, sounds horrific.
I'm a bit concerned about it.
Freaky, man. This looks...
I'm really concerned. So
I want to read this, though. I want to read this.
A nice house along the lake where everyone, like, it's all about like aliens taking over and murder and all this, that, and the other, and wiping memories. He's just picked one where you got to go into dreams as a serial killer. They're killing things in dreams. Now I got this, whatever this is, where she's got
Tom,
no hands.
That's the kind of week I've had, mate. It's a reflection of my week. Not to mention the big kitchen knife that's on the foreground of that cover as well, which is pretty scary.
Hold on, you're getting scared of that. I'm scared of the little pink thing next to him that looks sadistic and just like is looking. Yeah, he's looking off into far off wonderment.
Do you think he zoomed right in and looked in his? Because he's got little white dots in his eyes. Whether you zoomed right in, you'd see the killer.
Oh, stop it! Oh.
There we go.
I'm just wondering, do you think that this week, that whatever this week is, 2 weeks' time, will be the week that we pick 3 indie books?
No, because I'm not reading this.
No clowns.
Tom, do you not like clowns? You don't like clowns, do you, mate?
I know, not really.
There you go.
We'll move quickly on in that case. We've got the silver coin. There definitely is a theme to all these books, to be fair.
I'm really concerned that after this show, we need to have a bit of an intervention here, Charlie.
So this is the second part of the Covenant, and interestingly enough, I believe this is not only the art is by Michael Walsh, but I think he's actually writing this one. I could be wrong, but I believe with the blurb that it suggests that he is.
Nice.
So Audrey is a high schooler with an unusual ability who's drawn to the occult. When she encounters the coin, she conducts a ritual meant to break its curse, but instead summons something darker. The coin's mystery deepens in part 2 of the Covenant.
I just shivered then. I can't wait to read this.
I really hope my alerter doesn't go off in a minute, because I'm going to have to go out and do whatever I've got to do with all of this in my brain.
Especially my Scottish accent when I'm reading. I should just
don't worry, love.
Stories.
I'll look after you. I'll save your life. But let me tell you about these books I've just been told about.
This cover looks freaky as hell.
It really does. Yeah, I'm hoping, because if you remember, obviously issue 5 of Silver Coin was probably the best. I'm hoping that this is similar to that, where it kind of tries to tie the last 4 issues up. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what this one goes. Last, but certainly not least, is Rain issue number 3. I was going to say a little bit more light-hearted if you consider, shards of glass killing people as light-hearted. Yeah. Another book by Image Comics, written by Joe Hill and David Boer, and art by the fantastic Zoe Thorogood. So we've been following this book. We've read the last couple of issues of it. I thought it'd been absolutely spectacular. I think issue 2 was better even better than issue one, number one, and that was my top pick for the year so far. Synopsis wise, it says, having survived a violent run-in with the comic cult, Honeysuckle and her new companion, MMA fighter Mark Dispo, find themselves in an even tighter spot. Young Templeton Blake has followed them into the spreading apocalypse. They hitch a ride to Denver with a friendly highway patrol officer, but the prisoners he's transporting have different plans. So I think this is only going to get better, definitely. And again, it's another cover. Do you remember we were talking
the connecting covers?
Reviewed this, where it's like the connecting covers.
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely onto something there, because again, this
100%.
is another one where the shard of glass
Yeah.
goes through.
It's going to be one massive shard of glass, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
And then you're going to get to the point, and it's probably going to be what's caused it.
Yeah.
Look at you two, like seriously, I'm just sitting here like in. Like,
or it'll be a globe. It'll be the world right at the end, and it's just in it like a
through the globe. Yeah.
Chris is so true, Andy. You're saying it's light-hearted. It's apocalypse. It's very light-hearted.
I still need to read issue 2 of this, because I enjoyed issue 1. But
issue 2 is.
I got to the end of issue 1, and I think what I liked about Rain is I got to the end of issue 1, and I didn't necessarily need to read issue 2 because it's a nice standalone comic on its own, and it just ended really well and started really well. It was so good. I really liked issue 1.
I just love the cat Honeysuckle. What a great name!
Yeah, it's a great name.
Honeysuckle.
I think that umbrella, guys, I think that's going to be key to whatever happens. I think there's going to be something that happens with that umbrella.
Yeah.
So
Adamantium.
He's a good little character as well.
Yeah, he's quirky, definitely. So that's all my indie picks for next week. If you want to come and follow me on Instagram, you're more than welcome to. I'm at perpetual.comics and Twitter at perpetualcomics.
It's always worth a follow. Yeah, Andy's got some good stuff. He likes to post up quite good stuff.
You two are absolutely smashing it tonight. Some fantastic keys, amazing, very light-hearted and funny indies. So on that, let's go into some killer trades. So obviously these are the killer trades for March 16th, coming out next week. So up first, Andy, it's you again.
You can definitely tell who picked the 2000 Judge Dredd book, can't you? This is Judge Dredd by Brian Boland. This is a hardcover Apex edition. So you might think it's 128 pages and it's $90. That's a huge amount, but this is one of the oversized, massive books that you can get, and I believe it's just like scanned artwork that's in it. So this is all the artwork from Brian Boland, which arguably for me is one of the top 2 or 3 Judge Dredd artists. And if you haven't seen his work, you should definitely go check it out. So I don't necessarily know if I'm going to pick this up, and the only reason being is there's nowhere that I can store this apart from on the floor. But yeah, if you're a Judge Dredd fan and you're a Brian Boland fan, then this is an absolute no-brainer.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm tired and I'm dozed up on antibiotics. But I read that as 2000 AD featuring Judge Dredd. These bollocks are under arrest. And I'm still looking at it now, and I'm still seeing that. So
now you said it, that's what I saw.
I was like, wow. So, but at least I didn't read these. But at least I didn't read these bollocks are under a vest.
Oh, I can't unsee that now.
So, but yeah, do we know if this is all going to be black and white?
I think it is. Yeah. So, because I guess most of the artwork in these issues, specifically from I think issue 1 to 500, was all black and white anyway. So
there we go. Look, you're talking about storing it on the floor. Sean said you can store it in his house. He doesn't mind.
In fairness, it's probably going to be like the same height as Sean.
I was going to say, it's going to be the same size as Sean.
It's like
just love you, Sean. We do love you, Sean. So up next, right? So I've gone with Batman Volume 5. I've been picking these up, and they're costing me a fortune. Batman Volume 5.
Well?
What's that? Yeah, I am doing singles. Yes, so it's costing me an absolute fortune. This is the Fear State hardcover, 160 pages, $24.99. James Tynion and George Jimenez. This I'm really loving my Batman. Like, I'm massively into my Batman. I like my Batman, and so is James from Comic Deal. We share a common passion there for Batman. So
I didn't realise what you said.
The fact is that I'm picking this up. This is obviously the tie-in into the Fear State. We've had the Joker War. We've now got the Fear State. It includes Batman issues, 112 to 117, and then obviously we get taken over by is it Williamson takes over from 118. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm loving Batman at the moment. Free fuckers, there we go. That's the next Batman run. That's volume 6. Free fuckers.
Volume 6.
There we go. But yeah, Batman's doing his thing, man. You got Miracle Molly, you got the Ghost Hunter, you got Harley Quinn there, you got Scarecrow. This is great. I'm loving Batman, so I had to throw it in there. So yeah, this is my DC pick, and then I picked another DC. You could tell I went to see Batman last week, can't you? Because I went on a tangent and just picked quite a lot of DC. But yeah, we've got Batman. Arkham. One of the best characters is the Penguin. This is 240 pages for a reasonable price of £20 as well. So yeah, this is the greatest stories of one of Batman's most fearsome and notorious foes are collected in one graphic novel anthology in Batman Arkham Penguin. Collect Detective Comics 58, 610, 611, 824, Batman 155, and you can read the rest because I'm out of breath and I can't breathe and say the rest. There we go. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And it's by
like a collection of all of Penguin's good stories, is it?
Yeah, and it's by various artists and various writers as well. So there's something for everyone to get into there, which is quite interesting.
Did you notice on the cover, if you look at the reflection on the Penguin's glasses?
In the eye.
You get the Batman.
In the eye, yes.
That's class.
In the eye, you do. I'm looking forward to this one. I doubt I'll pick it up though, but it would be good. I've gone for another one. You can tell I've been also watching Superman and Lois. So I went for Superman, Batman Omnibus issue number 2. This is for probably the Phils out there, the Dinos out there, the Connies out there, and anyone else that picks up these giant-sized books and has place to display them. This is Superman, Batman Omnibus Volume 2, hard cover. This is a 1,232 page at $125. Michael Green and Dan Abnett and Shane Davis and Scott Collins. This is, I love omnibuses. I love looking at omnibuses because we've had this discussion before. When you look at a pile of single issues, they could be anything. When you look at omnibuses and trade paperbacks, they look nice. Like in any book cabinet, they look nice. They look presentable. I just don't think I'm there yet. It's really weird because it goes down to the same thing as you do in Netflix. You could watch 5 or 6 episodes of a series, but you wouldn't sit down and watch a 6-hour film.
Yeah,
it's the same with comics. For me, I could sit there and read 20 or 30 issues of a comic, but I could never sit there and focus on an omnibus. I just couldn't do it. I don't know about you guys.
I know what you mean, but I probably could do it. To be fair. But I know what you mean about the films and the TV series thing, though.
The only thing that lets this 1,232 pages down is the fact that Superman's in it.
I knew that was good.
We've just been highlighted that we've got 25 likes, Andy. So next week on the show will be your choice of chewing gum that you would like to eat.
You should have gone higher.
Digest, and yeah, that's gonna be fun. Holy crap!
25,000 likes, he said.
Did I not put a K in front of it? I'm sure I did.
Connie, you are right. Holy crap, that is going to be a big book. Yes, it is. And Sean, I've started with Absolute Sandman, and they are stunning. See, I think I'm there. I just, honestly, I don't have the storage.
You know what you're saying about the displaying of them? Mm-hmm. I think the problem is with single issues and CGCs and most trade paperbacks is you tend to put them in your long boxes. Yeah. Now, unless you open your long boxes, you ain't never going to see them, and you're not going to display them. So with omnibuses, where they've got a nice spine, and you pop them up, they look ever so smart. I mean, I collect the art of books.
Yeah.
So I've got them all lined up in our living room, and they look absolutely amazing. And then I've got all the Ninja Turtles collections, and because the spines are like hilts of swords or weaponry, it looks really, really smart. But if I was to line up all the single issues of all those things, it just looked like a mess of plastic.
Yeah, it was
true. Yeah,
it would. But yeah, I just don't think I'm there yet. And plus, I don't have the storage space available with all the bloody duplicates I pick up. So it's not going to happen for me. What do we reckon we've got next? We've got another DC? No, we haven't. Now, I mentioned this to Andy last night. I said to him, I've just read issue number 5. And I said, are you still reading A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance? Because I think we read issue number 1, issue number 2 for the show. And I think with some of the comics that we read, we kind of read them and then they kind of fall to the wayside because we kind of concentrate on what we're reading as a main story arc. This, for me, I'm loving it. It's really good. Again, it's kind of up there with the noir-esque villain drama kind of thing. I'm loving it. Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, and the covers have been incredible. They're all different colours. They all tell different character dialogue and everything is great. So yeah, this collects Righteous Thirst for Vengeance issues number 1 to 5. This is only $9.99, 136 pages. So not that's a decent price to be fair.
Is that a trade or a hardback?
Yeah, trade paper.
Trade paperback, yeah. Image normally keep their trade paperbacks pretty cheap, to be fair. But yeah, no, I backed out of this after issue number 2, but this is prime for me to pick it up again and read it all at once. So
I would do. I'd get back into it, mate. If I can suggest anything off this show tonight, I would suggest getting back into that.
Anybody wants to buy that for me for my birthday? That's good.
When's your birthday?
June.
Clashes.
Just saying.
It clashes. It does clash with something. So yeah. So here we are again. Meet me at the chapel. No, we won't
get married.
There we go. But yeah, so this is the trade paperback is going to be the first issue cover of the first issue. Did I pick? Yeah, I think I picked this as well. I literally just went on a trade paperback tangent and picked Deep Beyond volume. I thought, well, it's the first time we've been back. Like 3 of us have been back for ages, so I wanted to spend.
Do you want us to come back in half an hour when you finish with your trade?
No, not at all. So this is Deep Beyond Volume 2, trade paperback, 144 pages, $16.99, written by Marco Andolfo and David Goy, art by Andrea Boccardo. This, if you like Plunge and if you liked Sea of Sorrows, this is nothing like that. It's
like
quite.
What?
I said plunge.
Sorry.
I said plunge.
It literally is the Deep Beyond.
It is the Deep Beyond plunge, right? This is it's plunge, but this is written by Marco Andolfo. I liked it. It's kind of it's like the deep blue sea, the deep blue ocean. What you think you know about there, you don't. So I'm going to pass on because you've trying to just throw me on a bloody tangent. And yes, it does. I'm going to go to the chat. So what do we have? We have Love a Nice Absolute Edition, A Righteous Thirst for Vimto. There we go. This does not get any better. If it ain't you two, I've got the chat doing it as well. We've got Volume 1s. We have Clashes with the Wife's Birthday in June, Andy. Sorry, lol. We've got Plunge. We've got Filth and we've got Lowell. So yeah, this is from Image Comics. This is Plunge from the Deep Beyond, volume number 2, trade paperback.
Those last 3 comments literally sum up our show.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much.
Plunge, Filth, and Lowell, and we do have another one. Yeah.
I actually have never done one before, so this is my first one. This is my first trade paperback pick, and I'm picking Once and Future, which is one of my favorite books, like ongoing books at the moment, written by Kieran Gillen and artwork by Dan Mora, who is insane, so good. This is the 4th volume of the book, and this one collects issues 19 to 24. And if you're not reading Once and Future, guys, but you are interested in like mythology and like Old Norse, English mythology, Greek mythology, this book's worth reading because Kieran Gillen retells the stories as if the more you kind of like believe they're real, they become real. So it's a really, really cool book. Definitely worth picking up. This one is insane. Love it. Go get it. Go buy it. Go buy it. We can talk about it.
Massive shout out to Latoya Morgan,
Latoya!
Writer of The Walking Dead and the fantastic comic.
Oh, mate. I finally finished that like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. What an ending. What an ending.
Latoya, if you can share when the trade paperback is out, I'd love to find out. If you
we actually missed the review of the last issue because we had a guest on. We must recap that because it is well worth everybody's attention. 100%.
We should do the same what we did with Jeremy. We should get Latoya back on if she's up for it, and we'll have a chat through the whole series because it was one hell of a series.
Yeah,
loved it.
So Latoya, if you can drop one of us a DM, we can do that because I think that's great. We can talk about all 6 issues and how fantastic it was. So yes, please, and we hope you are well because we haven't spoken in a while. So hope
trade paperback comes out on June the 8th. That's 2 days before my birthday. I'm just saying, guys.
Oh, that's 10 days before I get married.
So that's now potentially £25 we've got to spend on Andy. Okay.
I'll take one for a wedding present, Charlie.
No, there you go. There we go. And there we go. Look, she's happy to come back anytime soon. So there you go. There you go, chat. In the near future, we will have the fantastic Latoya Morgan sitting with us three misfits to talk about Dark Blood and the whole series. Great stuff.
Boom.
Boom. Exactly. Let's end on the Boom Studios.
Exactly.
That's
Boom
the trade
Studios.
paperbacks for the week. But Tom, it's over to you again now because
yes. So it is that time. I mean, I've not been here for this yet. So it's the first time I'm doing this as well. So this is the killer community shout out. So this week, it's been up to me to pick who we're going to shout out. And I'd like to shout out the Undisputed podcast. Now, these are two podcasts done one by one guy called Zane and two of his friends. And he does these podcasts. The Undisputed Nerds podcast is a weekly podcast where they talk about everything nerd related, TV shows, movies, video games, you name it, they talk about it. And you can find them on Twitch, Spotify, YouTube, and you can find them on Apple and I think Amazon too. But you can get, if you follow the beacons links on this page, it'll take you to the list of where you can find any of them, whatever you're interested in watching them on or listening them on. And then also he does another show called The Undisputed Anime, where he talks about anime, manga, that kind of like Japanese kind of stuff, which I'm very much interested in. I wanted to share that with you guys because it is interesting. And some of the stories that come out of Japan are so much richer and better than some of the stuff we get from American comics, especially stuff like some of the DC and Marvel stuff. They could learn a thing or two from the Japanese manga because some of the stories are insane and so good that they surely should, like the indie books that we read, that we're like, oh, these are amazing. The anime stories are very similar. They're kind of like a bit more richer. They've got a chance to play around with the characters. They can do what they like. But I definitely would recommend go out and, check both these channels out, both podcasts out. The anime one, if you're interested in anime, or if you just want to dabble in and see what it's like. And definitely check out the Nerds one because they are actually really quite funny. They do remind me a little bit of us, if you like. Not as good
funny.
But funny. Yeah. So well worth going over to check these guys out. And Zane is a really, really nice guy. If you follow him on Instagram, he does a lot of kind of like showing what he's got. He talks about the news and quite a lot of the stuff that I know about the keys and stuff I get from Zane. So yeah, worth going over to check him out.
This is really good because you're sorry, Andy. Go on, mate.
No, I was just going to say that's exactly why we done this segment as well. So fantastic, Tom. Like I hadn't heard of these guys, and I'll definitely be going and checking them out.
Yeah.
So top man.
Yeah.
My work friend Richard used to do the podcast with Zane originally when they were called Into the Otakuverse, but they changed over. Rich got a new job, and Zane's taking it over on his own, and then got new friends in, and then he's done two separate ones. So one's nerd based, one's anime based, but covering all bases really. It's brilliant.
But you're massively into your manga as well, isn't you?
I am, mate. Yeah,
it's good. It is good.
I got into One Piece just before Christmas, and it's the best thing I've ever read. 100% the best thing I've ever read. It's so good. It's so rich with character development. It touches on so many things you don't expect. Like at first, I just thought, it was a book about essentially it's what they call shonen manga. So each episode they get stronger, and then the stronger they get, the more powerful their villains are, and the stronger and stronger and stronger. Everything just gets stronger. However, this book, it touches on racism, touches on sexism. It touches on slave labor, slavery, all those sorts of things. And it just puts them all in the light of like, this is not okay. This really shouldn't be happening in the world. And I thought it was really interesting how they've done that, but through the means of like manga and artwork. So I like that kind of stuff.
Cool. I definitely think it's had an impact. I mean, nice one. I'm trying to read more manga and watch more anime, so we'll definitely check this out. Triple G sounds good, Tom. We'll check it out. See, so this is great. I love
awesome.
the
Thanks, guys.
Interest this is getting. So yeah, so that is another show down to close the show. So obviously this is how competitive it's getting. So if we check the votes at the moment, so we have in third place we've got Tom with Gwen verse issue number 1. In second place, we've got Draculina issue number 2 by Andy with 33%. And then in first place with 48% is me. Do you know what? I'm quite surprised because I voted for the Draculina.
I did too.
I really like that cover. So it's been close. but it's interesting. So, and this is how competitive it's getting, because it just started off as this, and now we've kind of got our own bloody spreadsheet and the covers and everything. So it's going to be interesting. And there's 50. I don't know how I'm going to fit 52 weeks on this, but
Everybody's a winner, Charlie.
everyone's a winner. I win every single Thursday.
You're all on here with me.
That's what I was going to say. I win every Thursday night because I get to chat with two of my best mates talking about comics. Anyway,
Can we get rid of this before it gets too gushy?
Here we go. Here you go. The Killer Comic Show sneak peek. So this is what we are showcasing for you next week. Up first, we have. I cannot wait to share my review for this comic with you guys next week. This is I'm ecstatic to tell you guys about this. I absolutely loved it. I've been singing the praises since issue number 1. Issue number 4 just comes to a load of. Yeah, King of Spies issue number 4. I'm reviewing next week. Next.
Yes, Andy.
Little Monsters, Jeff Lemire. Guys, strap in. Next week's show is going to be absolutely spectacular. Guys, if you haven't read this yet, I would strongly recommend that you go pick it up so that we can have a really good conversation. The same with all the books that we're going to be reviewing next week.
And up next.
Tom?
So I've gone for We Live, Age of the Paladins. I don't know if you guys have read We Live, but it was quite a good book. So I'm looking forward to this. It's the next stage into it. So,
and this came as 2 covers, I believe, Tom, doesn't it? It was a white one and a black one, wasn't there?
The alpha, which is white, and then the beta, which is black.
Same story?
Yeah, same story.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, we've got a fantastic show for you guys next week. It's gonna be a great show. It's good to have you back, Tom.
I'm excited, mate. I'm glad to be back. I'm now really excited to read King of Spies. I didn't realise that was out next week, and I've still got 2 issues to read, so I'm going to do the whole back-to-back thing.
Honestly, enjoy it, and they even tell you that it's a bumper edition, so buckle up. Oh my god! Is it next Thursday yet? Because I want to share my review. So bad. It's such a great comic. And again,
are you only picking the one comic next week?
Yes, I am only picking the one comic.
Andy, is it your turn to choose 2?
Well, I was going to say maybe the chat or people watching on the rewind can pick a book, and if we've got time. I'm just conscious that we don't want to be reading like lots and lots of issues and stuff like that. But if there's something that we've maybe missed from this week, then let us know.
Great. And we've also got Jeff Schultz. He says, hello, gents. One love from Chicago. Charlie, I've heard nothing but good things about King of Spies. Got to go get all 4. I've been picking up. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Latoya.
What shall we read, Latoya? What else should we read next week?
Yeah, what else should we read? You're awesome as well, Latoya. Thank you very much.
Issue 5 or issue 6 of Dark Blood, maybe?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's actually do that.
Yeah. So I've been picking up cover A and cover B of King of Spies because they're fantastic. Like, honestly, they're great, and I can't wait to pick up the trade paperback. But yes, it's going to be another banging show next week. And you've got all 3 of us again. Chat, you've been amazing as always. I don't know how you stay with us for an hour, normally an hour and a half, but it's an hour and 43 minutes because I went on some trade paperback tangent. I do apologise about that. You two, I love you more than a fat kid loves cake. You guys are absolutely great. I feel like I've been left out with the red thing that you two have got going on, but then you're showing the heart sign for me at the bottom of your love. So with all that, I'm going to go and die in a corner now because, as I mentioned, I've got COVID 2.0.
Please don't tempt any sort of fate, Charlie. Please, I couldn't.
Right. It's all right. But guys, love you both. It's been another great show. Love every single person in the chat. Have a great weekend. Enjoy what you read. And Tom,
stay safe. Stay sexy.
See you next week, guys.